Okay, so in this video we're going to look at the third fundamental rule of differential calculus, and that's the product rule. What the product rule says is that the first derivative, f prime, of some function which is made up of the product of two separate functions which are both differentiable in x, the derivative is equal to the derivative of the first function multiplied by the second function plus the first function multiplied by the derivative of the second function. So what does this mean? So if we have a function, for example, f of x is equal to 5x times e to the x, its first derivative, f prime of x, can be given by, so first off we take the first derivative of this part, which is 5, multiplied by the second part, left alone, and then we add that on to, now we're going to leave the first part alone, and times by the derivative of the second part, because we know already that the derivative of the special case f prime of e to the x is just equal to e to the x. So what we did was we took the derivative of the first part, left the second part alone, and then added it to the first part left alone times the derivative of the second part. So let's take a look at another example. If we have that f of x is equal to the sine of x times by 3x to the fifth power. So in this example, we are setting f1 of x to be equal to the sine of x, and f2 of x to be equal to 3x to the fifth power. So the derivative, f prime of x, of this function, is going to be equal to the derivative of f1 of x, which is the cosine of x, times by the second part left alone, so times by 3x to the fifth power, and then we're going to add on the first part left alone, so sine of x, multiplied by the derivative of the second part. So from the power rule we saw in a previous video, this is going to be 5 times 3 is 15, and then we reduce the power of x by 1, x to the 4. So to conclude, what the product rule says is that the derivative of the product of two separate functions which are both differentiable by x is equal to the derivative of the first function times by the second function left alone plus the first function left alone times by the derivative of the second function. And that's it. The product rule is a very powerful skill to have in your tool belt when it comes to differential calculus, and hopefully this video has helped further your understanding of it. In the next video we're going to take a look at the quotient rule and how that's applied. See you there.